like a flagrant foul can't happen, be called correctly on the day without something going crazy. Doesn't matter who it's by. Does not matter who it...
The WNBA has long been a platform for fierce competition, highlighting some of the world's most skilled athletes. However, that same intensity can occasionally lead to incidents that ignite heated debates, stir fan outrage, and draw intense media attention.
Cheryl did say, Tina Charles better feel all of us in this game tonight, not just one of us. We're going to have to come at her as a team. Charles hands the opening tip.
One such incident took place during a matchup between the Dallas Wings and the Minnesota Lynx on May 21st, 2025, when Wings guard DiJonai Carrington became the center of controversy following a play that has since sparked widespread discussion.
Shot, Heidemann in the open court, gives it up to Shepard, who is hammered. And Shepard gets up, looks at DiJonai Carrington, teammates are holding her back.
And here's where things get even more intense. Carrington's actions on the court have triggered calls for her suspension, with some even going as far as to label the incident an outright assault on a Lynx player. So, what exactly happened? Why is this moment sparking such a firestorm? Stick around. What comes next is major.
By Jessica Shepard. Carrington went in hard against Shepard. Everybody is okay. Nobody hurt on the play.
From Carrington's reputation as an aggressive defender to the divided reactions from fans and analysts, this story is packed with layers that need to be unpacked. And the wildest part? It's all 100% real.
And I'm like, this, when you put this in slow motion, and any flagrant foul looks bad in slow motion. In real time, the dumbest thing, like, it was dumb. It was dumb and reckless. Like, the only person, and by the way, she didn't get her eye. She ended up hitting her like here. She barely grazed her head. Like, you can say, oh, the intent is there. I'm sorry, but it wants to go viral. Do we not remember last year when she chased Caitlin around the court doing that? Like, do we not remember? She hit a three and it runs in front of Caitlin Clark doing that, and Caitlin just is ignoring her. And the next possession, Caitlin shoots a step back in her face, and she's still trying to chase Caitlin doing that.
The Dallas Wings squared off against the Minnesota Lynx at the Target Center in Minneapolis for their second matchup of the 2025 WNBA season. The game was already buzzing with anticipation, as it marked the highly anticipated return of Paige Bueckers, the #1 overall pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, to her home state of Minnesota. The Wings, coming off a tough 9-31 season in 2024, were in rebuilding mode with a revamped roster featuring Carrington, Bueckers, and veteran Arian Bell. Meanwhile, the Lynx, fresh off a WNBA Finals appearance, entered the game as clear favorites to dominate.
Bruce.
But this is where things took a shocking turn. Late in the third quarter, with the Wings trailing by 10, Lynx forward Jessica Shepard grabbed a rebound and launched into a fast break. Carrington, known for her relentless defense, raced down the court in pursuit. As Shepard went up for the layup, Carrington lunged in an attempt to block the shot, but instead made heavy contact with Shepard's face and back. The play was aggressive, some would argue dangerously so, and the way it ended. You won't believe it.
So she's got the green light, but so far Smith's first 2 shots of this game have been at the rim. Mabry, quick trigger on the 3 from the baseline. Marina Mabry.
Though the officials immediately halted play to review the incident. After careful deliberation, Carrington was assessed a flagrant foul for the contact, an action many deemed reckless. Shepard, visibly shaken, stepped to the line and made one of 2 free throws. The Lynx retained possession and ultimately edged out the Wings in a nail-biting finish, 85-81. But despite the close score, it was the flagrant foul that dominated post-game conversations, and that was only the beginning. To understand why this moment has erupted into such a firestorm, we need to take a closer look at Carrington's history. And here's what most people aren't telling you. DiJonai Carrington, the 2024 WNBA Most Improved Player, has carved out a reputation as one of the league's fiercest defenders. After 4 seasons with the Connecticut Sun, she was traded to the Dallas Wings in the offseason, bringing her aggressive, high-energy style to a team desperate for a fresh spark. Carrington's defense is her trademark. She's fast, physical, and fearless when challenging opponents. But that same intensity has gotten her into trouble before.
Connecticut, she might have been Tina Charles' kryptonite. She was a lot of players' kryptonite. Diamond Miller checks in for Minnesota, hands it off to Napheesa Collier, who gets her first.
Last season, Carrington found herself at the center of another controversial moment when she accidentally poked Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark in the eye during a game. While the play drew immediate attention, both Carrington and Clark quickly downplayed the incident, insisting it was unintentional.
Harassed by Carrington, finds Boston. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down. Caitlin Clark is down, no call as Connecticut takes advantage, and Clark is still down.
And just when you thought things couldn't get any more intense, fast forward to 2025, and Carrington's aggressive style is once again under the microscope. Sports analyst Jason Whitlock didn't mince words, stating, "Carrington is going to seriously injure a player in the WNBA. She once again uses her fingernail to scrape across the face of an opposing player." While Whitlock's remarks were undeniably inflammatory, they echo a growing concern. Is Carrington's physicality crossing the line? But hang on, because it only gets more explosive from here.
Off the glass, that was a beautiful high-low play. Courtney Williams, the sling pass, Heidemann, one more pass, Collier from the wing, three.
A flagrant foul on Shepard sparked immediate and widespread reactions, and this is where things really went off the rails. Social media, especially X, formerly Twitter, exploded with commentary. One fan described the play as a chippy moment, acknowledging that while the contact may have been incidental, it was undeniably harsh. Others were far less forgiving. One post read, "Deja Carrington tries to gouge another eye out against the Lynx," a hyperbolic take that only added fuel to the growing, narrative painting Carrington as a reckless and dangerous player.
Change. I think they made adjustments. I think that, it could be fatigue. It could, I don't know. I gotta go watch the film too. I just think that they stepped it up a level and we stayed the same. And in this league, everyone's too good for that. So we just have to be more locked in, more focused. We blew a lot of coverages and gave them a lot of open shots, honestly. We'll figure it out though.
And the reason why might surprise you. The controversy wasn't just about the foul itself, but how it was perceived in light of Carrington's history. Some fans actually praised her for not backing down, likening her to players like Angel, Reese, who have embraced physicality as a core part of their game. A Sportskeeda article highlighted how WNBA fans reacted to Carrington's flagrant foul, with some pointing out that, unlike Caitlin Clark, who visibly backed off after fouling, Angel Reese, Carrington stood her ground. This comparison only added more fuel to the fire, positioning Carrington in a growing narrative that pits toughness against recklessness, and casting her as a lightning rod in the ongoing debate about physical play in the league.
Heidemann in the open court, gives it up to Shepard, who is hammered. And Shepard gets up, looks at DiJonai Carrington, teammates are holding her back.
But what happens next could change everything. The burning question now, will Deja Carrington face a suspension? So far, the WNBA has made no official statement suggesting disciplinary action beyond the initial flagrant foul. However, the league does have a precedent for reviewing plays involving contact to the head or face, especially when the incident draws significant public attention. Carrington's prior clash with Caitlin Clark, though ruled accidental, adds a layer of context. That could influence the league's decision, and if you think that's bad, just wait. This incident goes beyond one play. It raises deeper questions about the role of physicality in the WNBA. The league has long celebrated its fierce competitiveness, with legends like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner setting the tone for tough, physical basketball. But as the WNBA grows in popularity, thanks to the rising stardom of players like Buchers, Clark, and Reese, every controversial moment comes under an increasingly intense spotlight. And this is where things start to get dangerous.
Maybe aired a little bit lenient, but I'm cool with them being a little bit lenient rather than ignoring it. Last year, these type of plays were ignored. This year, at least they're being lenient. which I'm fine with. Which I'm absolutely fine with. Like, the referees last year was a weird one. Like, I remember Caitlin got away with the most obvious flagrant foul in history last year. Like, she went for the ball on Jordan Canada and got nowhere near the ball and just swiped on Jordan Canada's head.
Carrington's playing style isn't an outlier. Players like Alyssa Thomas in the WNBA and Draymond Green in the NBA are known for their aggressive physical defense, often towing the line between hard-nosed competition and excessive force. The key difference lies in how those actions are perceived and the consequences that follow. For Carrington, the fallout has been far more severe. Her story is complicated by more than just on-court behavior. As a black woman in a league where race and gender are constantly under the microscope, Carrington faces scrutiny that goes beyond basketball. Following the incident with Caitlin Clark, she received death threats and racist messages, an alarming reminder of the toxic fan behavior that often eclipses valid criticism. But here's what most people overlook. The WNBA's officiating and disciplinary systems are under increasing pressure to strike a difficult balance, ensuring player safety while preserving the game's physical edge. And that tension is becoming harder to ignore.
And ended up winning a spot on Connecticut's roster. Mabry, the wing 3-ball goes, and Marina Mabry is 4 of 5 from deep.
A suspension for Carrington could send a strong message that the WNBA is ready to crack down on reckless play. On the other hand, if the league lets the flagrant foul stand without further consequences, it might signal to players that pushing the limits of physicality is fair game, and that's where things take a wild turn. For the Dallas Wings, this controversy couldn't come at a worse time. The team is in the thick of a rebuild, led by a new coaching staff and a dramatically overhauled roster featuring 9 new players, including top pick Paige Buchers and veteran Deja Carrington. Their 0-2 start to the 2025 season with back-to-back losses to the Lynx and the Seattle Storm underscores the growing pains of integrating fresh talent. Carrington, expected to take on a veteran leadership role, has been one of the few bright spots, dropping 15 points in the season opener and hitting a clutch 3-pointer in the game against Minnesota. But what happens next is truly insane. The Wings' defensive shortcomings were exposed in both losses, and even Carrington admitted post-game that the team blew a lot of coverages against the Lynx. Her flagrant foul, while a defensive lapse, also symbolized her broader role as the emotional and defensive anchor of a team still trying to find its identity.
A lot of expectations on your new teammate, Paige, obviously. Just what are you seeing from her so far?
I'm seeing that Paige can't guard me. That's what I'm seeing. Nah, but you know, she's a student of the game. Her IQ is super high. You don't have to tell her things multiple times. You know, it's quick. So they'll draw something up. We got to go execute it. And she's able to translate from the board to the court real quick. She understands basketball. She understands reading defenses. She understands defensively how to switch and, you know, just kind of being there for each other.
And by the end of this, you'll understand why it matters so much. If the WNBA hands down a suspension, the Wings risk losing a key player at a pivotal moment, just as the team is trying to build chemistry and find its rhythm. For head coach Christine Coquelins, in her first season at the helm, the challenge is now twofold: developing a young, untested roster while also managing the fallout from a controversy that threatens to derail the team's early momentum.
Open court, gives it up to Shepard, who is hammered. And Shepard gets up, looks at DiJonai Carrington. Teammates are holding her back, separating the...
On the other side of the court, the Minnesota Lynx are riding high. And here's the final twist no one saw coming. Led by Nafisa Collier, who exploded for 34 points in the season opener and continued her dominance on May 21st, the Lynx look every bit like a title contender. Jessica Shepard, the player on the receiving end of Carrington's foul, remains a crucial piece of their rotation. Her immediate reaction to the hit was described as heated, but she quickly composed herself, suggesting she saw it as just another part of the game's physical edge. But here's what really matters: Shepard's ability to sink 1 of 2 free throws, and the Lynx capitalizing on the ensuing possession helped seal their 85-81 win. While the team's eyes remain firmly fixed on a championship run, the foul has injected a new level of intensity into their budding rivalry with the Wings. And that's when everything clicked into place. The Lynx, with their veteran leadership and recent finals experience, won't let this incident derail their momentum. But make no mistake, this moment may have just ignited one of the fiercest rivalries in the league. And if these two teams meet again, expect fireworks.
The shot, Heidemann in the open court, gives it up to Shepard, who is hammered. And Shepard gets up, looks at DiJonai Carrington, teammates are holding her back.
The aftermath of the incident didn't just unfold on the court. It exploded across social media and mainstream outlets. And this is where things go completely off script. Media giants like Sportskeeda and Yahoo Sports gave the flagrant foul wall-to-wall coverage, with many framing it as part of a larger pattern in Carrington's play style. Aggressive, unrelenting, and now potentially dangerous. Jason Whitlock's polarizing comments only added fuel to the fire, amplifying the narrative of Carrington as a repeat offender in the eyes of critics. And if you've stuck around this long, here's why this moment could be a game changer. Social. Media reactions ranged from thoughtful breakdowns to outright vitriol. But beneath the chaos lies a deeper truth, one that's absolutely insane. The divided opinions reflect more than just fandom. They highlight the WNBA's growing pains as it steps into the national spotlight. With more eyes on the league than ever, every foul, every take, every tweet becomes magnified. Some fans now paint Carrington as the league's newest villain. Others see her as a passionate, misunderstood competitor, unfairly targeted because of who she is and how she plays.
I'm seeing that Paige can't guard me.
We're on the same team.
Well, you started it.
Yeah, but she's taking my life. Like, I don't know.
And you'll want to see this through to the end. Trust me, the league's ongoing review could still result in a suspension for Deja Carrington, a decision that would send shockwaves through the Wings' already fragile season and reignite the fiery debate over physicality in the WNBA. And that's when everything clicked into place. For Carrington, this is more than just a foul. It's a defining moment. Her talent is undeniable. A 15-point performance in the season opener, her relentless defense and leadership presence make her a cornerstone of Dallas's rebuilding efforts. But if these controversies continue to pile up, they risk overshadowing everything she brings to the court. And the wildest part, we're just getting started. For the WNBA, the stakes are just as high. The league now faces a critical balancing act, protecting player safety while preserving the edge, passion, and physicality that make this game so electrifying. Whatever happens, next, one thing is clear. This isn't just about one foul. It's about the identity of a league, the reputation of a rising star, and the future of the WNBA as it navigates its most scrutinized era yet.
Shepard finding a little with the drive, the take, blocked, gets it back. Carlton, three-pointer. That's the way to end a quarter for Minnesota.
And by the end of this video, it all comes into focus. The Carrington incident isn't just about a single foul. It's about the collision of physicality, media scrutiny, and the evolving identity of the WNBA. Whether or not she's suspended, this moment will shape how fans, analysts, and the league itself view Deja Carrington, and it could echo throughout the entire 2025 season. Pay close attention, because what happens next could redefine not only the Dallas Wings and Minnesota Lynx, but the WNBA's entire approach to discipline and competitive play. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the WNBA's biggest stories. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.